Ryan, great to see you. Let's start with Yorkshire Carnegie right now, on the verge of sealing a playoff place. How are you feeling about how everything's going?
Yeah, ups and downs really, peaks and troughs. We're happy with where we are. We're happy in terms of as league position, as performances have probably gone missing. And last week were a big case for that. You know, we performed really well for 40 minutes. You know, to go in against London Scottish at 23-14 up, and no disrespect to Scottish, but at half time we were probably targeting a good 50 point win there, and that's no disrespect to them. That's how we felt, how we were attacking, and they come out second half. Did we take us foot off the gas? I don't know. Did London Scottish start playing better? And to underscore 3 points in the second half was disappointing. But it's been a story of our season so far that. And you can always go back to key areas in games where we probably dropped bonus points, and we're probably being picky because we're forwards, but we left 4 driving mauls out there, which going back to us as a set piece, it's you know, we're very disappointed with that in terms of how we've gone so far this season, and we just feel as the last few weeks we've dropped off that a little bit.
There are so many good things. You say you're getting to the stage where you've got more or less the game won, but then it just seems you can't fully finish it and be really ruthless, and maybe particularly in that second half. Do you know why that 80-minute performance hasn't quite clicked in yet?
It's probably what I've just alluded to in terms of the little bits of detail. So it might be a line out on the 5 metre line, and you know, with a line out anything can go wrong. It can be a referee's interpretation not straight, good defence, a lift not quite being there, a throw not being straight, or a throw being underthrown, or there's so many little facets that have got to go right. And I think it's just 1 or 2 of those little facets that go wrong, and at the weekend it didn't go right, and then we panicked, and then that puts pressure on Smith with the line out caller, then it puts pressure on the hooker, and everybody else gets shaking when actually we probably just need to relax and go back to what we do best, and just concentrate and just readdress the situation really. You
say relax. Do you feel a lot of pressure on you because you are Yorkshire Carnegie? Again, it's about getting in the Premiership. Everyone externally, you know, include myself, the media, and this, do have high expectations for you guys. Is that something that maybe you do feel, and it is a case of just relaxing?
Yeah, possibly, but I think it's from the group as well. You know, we're targeting to get promotion. You know, let's not beat around the bush here. We set out in St Andrews on camp, and that was target to get promotion, and we're still on track for that. But yeah, you know, everybody's talking about this club being a Premiership club. Well, infrastructure-wise, we are, but on field, we're not. You know, look at where we are. We're a Championship team. Are we a Championship squad? Probably not. But at times when we're letting games slip, we look like that Championship squad playing in the Championship, and that's no disrespect to us or no disrespect to other teams, but it's something that we've got to kick out of this game. You know, we've got some tough games coming up, and you know, some real tests for us, and it's about you know, this game's about peaking at the right time, and you know, it's the old cliche, 1 game at a time, but that's purely what it is in this group. And you know, you look around the group and the lads that are coming back from injury, and I'm confident that we are ready to kick on and make a good go of it now.
And back as a full captain this year after Chris Jones retired last year, how do you think you've developed and grown in that role from last time out?
In a lot of ways, really. I think the last time out for me, it was a difficult season in terms of what went off. You know, Jimmy leaving, Tommy taking all pre-season, then Gary Mercer coming in and the last week of pre-season, and then wanting to imprint his habits and his philosophies. Obviously, things not working out with Gary getting sacked or leaving, however you want to say it, and then Tommy taking charge again, Tommy leaving. I think it was then Ian McGeechan coming for a game. Ian McGeechan goes, and then Brush comes in. So you look through that, and to have 4 head coaches, well, 5 head coaches if you count Tommy's time as pre-season, in 1 year, it's tough. And as a captain, you know, a lot of pressure comes onto me because I was probably the only consistent thing in that season. And as my first year as captain, it was tough. I know it was difficult for me to lose it last season. I think it was the right decision. Learnt a lot. I thought I captained the team well when I did, and then Brush asked me again to do it this year, and it's something that I didn't want to give up in the first place. So when he asked me again, I jumped at the opportunity.
And you've been here for part of the furniture now, one of the club's longest serving players. How do you feel you've developed, the club's developed over the time you've been here? Because it has been a big transition, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, it has, and I'd go as far as saying, this group of players is the best group of players without this club. The strength in depth we've got, the infrastructure wise, the coaching setup, everything's geared up for us now to get promotion, which is, like I say, it's our aim, and it's our only goal. Nothing else other than that is a successful season for us. And the players know that, the coaching staff know that, and everybody's pulling in that right direction. And I think that's why we're so disappointed with how we perform at times, because we've got such high expectations of each other. Nothing other than 100% week in, week out is good enough, and which is great.
You moved here from Rotherham, again, seems quite a while ago now. How much of an affinity and connection do you still have with that club from the time there?
Yeah, I still like it in high regard. I always will do. The opportunities that club's given me is, I can't speak highly of it enough. But in terms of personnel there, playing wise, there's not many. There's probably the old guys behind the scene, the VPs. They're probably the only regular face that if I went up to the club now, I'd recognise. And those guys are brilliant. It's a proper little rugby club, and well supported. And as I speak to the guys here about it and say, what's the difference between between Carnegie and Rotherham? I don't mean disrespect to our fans, but it's a loyal fan base in terms of how small the town is. Win, lose or draw, as long as you go out and give 150% week in, week out, that Rotherham crowd's happy. I don't think, because their aspirations are different to what ours are, which is rightfully so. With the infrastructure we've got here, we want to be in the Premiership, whereas I think Rotherham are quite happy competing top four, or building to get a top four championship spot.
What was it about that club that you think really helped you and built you into the player you've become?
Just the opportunities to play, because they have such a small squad. The opportunity to get out there and play is fantastic. If I was an 18-year-old in this environment, looking back, you probably don't get the same exposure. Whereas at Rotherham, running a 30-man squad, if somebody in your position's injured, look, you've got to step up and play. I think that shows yet again when I was there for maybe 4.5 seasons, and I played 120 games. And it's my advice to anybody, any youngster. Just go out and play. That's the only way you learn. It's the only way you improve is by going out there and playing, and playing in a tough ground in the Championship. There's no better place really.
Clifton Lane, one of the hardest to play, particularly from away opposition. It's a test of the memory banks. Do you have any particular standout memories from the time in the Titans shirts?
Yeah, there's obviously always a few. I can remember going back to my last season there under Andre Bester. Although that were a tough season in terms of his personality and how he was, very stubborn, didn't change his ways very much. We had a bad weather spell around Christmas, and back into the season I think we played 8 games in 3 weeks. We were backing up Saturdays and Wednesdays and back to Saturday. So recovery time there was none. Andre didn't believe in recovery anyway. And he was a big believer in the same 22 week in, week out. So we'd backed up a full season, and then 3 weeks there where we went 8 games in 3 weeks. And then boys were on their feet, and the 8th game is a South Yorkshire derby against Doncaster. And you just think you're on your feet, but the pride and the passion that the fans have got, you can't let them down. And to a man, we stepped up, and I think we got a last-minute win against Doncaster at home after a long 3-4 week slog. There
is a real rivalry between Carnegie, Rotherham, Doncaster, without a doubt. But this patch so well. How important is it that we have in Yorkshire so many successful teams? That they are ideally all in the Premiership, but at least they're all competing at the top of the Premiership. Carnegie in the top flight, the other two pushing for the same dream as well, whichever way it works out.
Yeah, no, look, it's massive, and it's what this county deserves. It's a great county, and you look at all the the junior clubs, the amateur clubs. You know, there's always Yorkshire clubs in and around doing well week in, week out. You know, you look at Doncaster last year, finalists, very well deserved, and I think they're the third again at the minute. Rotherham have had their injury problems, but still a strong unit. You know, I think a couple of wins and they could be top four as well. So it's massively important, not just for those three clubs, but just for the county. I think it deserves some regular, sustainable Premiership rugby. You know, whether that's Carnegie, whether that's Doncaster, or whether that's Rotherham. And I think whichever team it is, although there's a rivalry there, I think it'll be well supported by, you know, the wider Yorkshire community.